discussion that we've been having so far. We have waiting to speak Mr. Babatunde, sorry for that, Mr. Adeeko Olalekan, who is a co-founder of the TED Pride Hub and an experienced technology facilitator with a demonstrated history of working in the e-learning industry. He's skilled with Microsoft EdTech tools and other EdTech tools beyond Microsoft tools. He's also skilled at database, data science, and he's spoken at various education programs and conferences. He's also a multiple award winner in the area of the teaching area of education. And so, Mr. Olalekan Adeeko, please, you do have the floor as we continue with the program.
12 minutes.
Okay, I'll try and use 10 minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm happy to be with all of us this afternoon. I've picked up quite a lot of things from the professor that I've spoken earlier. And I'll be picking up from where Babatunde stopped. He mentioned Microsoft 365 and then he zeroed in on Microsoft Teams. So that is what I'll be talking about this afternoon. So my own session will be giving us like an overview of how we can conduct remote learning with Microsoft Education, specifically using Microsoft Teams. So when we say Microsoft 365, we are talking about several applications put together for use by educational institutions anywhere in the part of the world. And one good thing about this service is that it is free for educational institutions, no monthly or yearly subscription. And once your school adopts the Microsoft 365, you have opportunities of using all the apps on my screen and even more. But that is not where we're going this afternoon. We want to zero in on Microsoft Teams. So how can we use Microsoft Teams for education? Or what is even Microsoft Teams in itself? So that is what I want to quickly take us through. Microsoft Teams, just like Babatunde said, is like a hub that brings content, conversation, assignments, and everything together in a place. I was online when Professor Okebukola was talking about the ideal e-learning platform. They were talking about assessment, talking about students lending their voice, talking about virtual breakout room for students, talking about student support. We can achieve all these things that Professor mentioned by taking our time to study how to effectively deploy Microsoft Teams for education, because it will allow us to have a place where student lecturers can have their conversation, even without the student, the teacher's involvement or the lecturer's involvement in this case. The student can as well still come together and have their own discussion. Assignments, tests, we can still deploy that on the platform. And we're using that, we're using all Microsoft Teams to achieve all this. We're talking about collaborative classroom, professional learning, even for the lecturers themselves. We want to have a place where lecturers in all universities in Nigeria converge, where they can continue to have monthly webinars or seminars, and it could be departmental, maybe lecturers in a particular faculty, in a particular university coming together to do all this. And aside using it for learning and teaching too, we can also use it to have a streamlined staff communication, whereas the VC wants to pass information across to all the faculties, we can do that. And Teams is like a hub. You cannot only make use of Microsoft application for education, but you can as well plug in other third-party educational apps on Microsoft Teams. Maybe you're familiar with some of these apps that you're used to in your various institutions. And now that you're adopting Microsoft Teams, maybe you're wondering, do I need to do away with all the things that we've done on a particular platform? No, Microsoft Teams allow us to plug in everything together because it's like a hub. It accepts the use of applications like turn-in applications that I know lecturers love, because you can use it to screen out plagiarism in student assignment or research papers and journal. You can plug that in a Microsoft Teams so that you can have everything in one place. With Microsoft Teams, lecturers can easily schedule class meetings with their students. It's not just going to be like you're having a video call, then after the video call, we end the call and we go our separate ways. No, even after the call, participants or students can still go back to the platform and ask questions, and that can help drive conversation. It's very easy to create announcements of Microsoft Teams. And like I said earlier, we can easily give assignments and leave feedback for our students. So we can make it work as if we are even using their normal books. Maybe we are inking on their books, or we want to send out notes to every one of them with a single click. We can as well do that on Microsoft Teams. We can chat privately with our students. We can chat as a group. And I already mentioned it, it is free. We can also have all the things that we've done saved in the cloud. I know this meeting we're having is being recorded. So even after the meeting, you can download the meetings and rewatch. So I know Professor Kuku was talking about synchronous and asynchronous session with our students. So these can allow us do that. Even students that missed the lessons can still go back to the platform, rewatch the lesson, and still participate actively in the discussion. We can as well share content as all other presenters have done and I'm doing, and I can share my screen with my students and they will still see all that I've been talking about. And one nice thing again about Teams is that you can easily integrate it with a learning management system. Maybe in your school, you already have courses created on Canvas or Schoology or even Moodle. And you're thinking of, okay, can we marry these two together? Teams allow us to plug in all these LMS on it so that we won't need to move out of Teams to Moodle to go and do something, or to Schoology to go and do something. We can pull everything together in a place. That is Microsoft Teams for us. And we can as well use it even if you're running you don't have Microsoft Office installed on your system. Right from your Teams, you can still work on Microsoft Word, Excel, and all other productivity tools. And it'll encourage students to learn the voice. They can as well continue to communicate on the platform. They can continue to share, you can share, they can share, and everybody can even work together real time on the same document to promote collaboration. And we can easily share our content on Microsoft Teams. We can share assignment. We can distribute interactive lessons across to our students with a single click. And all our students will receive the content, and they can as well respond to the exercises or the assignments or quizzes that you've given. And you can assess the student individually without thinking about using another app again to do that. So you can do all these things on Microsoft Teams. You can easily grade and give feedback. Grading in this case, it's not just about using phones, but you can as well ask them to write in their articles or write their papers, and you can even still ink on it and grade it the same way you've been grading your the students in the school. Accessibility in Teams. Maybe we teach students with learning difficulties. Maybe they have hearing impairment, or they are visually impaired. There is a massive reader that is embedded in Microsoft Teams that can even help students read out the content. Maybe the student is having visual difficulties. Teams allows the use of a massive reader to read out the content to the student to promote inclusiveness, so that we won't be leaving out students that need special attention. So accessibility tools can help us do that. And Teams allow us to integrate hundreds of apps out there. Maybe you want to work with mind map making application like Ludichat and Word of View. You have several apps that you can still integrate with your Microsoft Teams. So I'll be drawing the curtain by just showing us Microsoft Teams in a picture. So with your Microsoft Teams, you get notification the same way you get notification on your Facebook app or your social media app or your system. It's provide opportunity for video call. You can post conversation, lecturers can post, students can post, we can respond to ourselves. We can even give emoji, thumbs up to your student. You can give assignments, you can share files. Lecturers can work together on the same file and the same time. We don't need to be in a place or have us send files one after the other, then somebody will spend more time to put everything together. We can work simultaneously on the same file. We can easily arrange our schedule, work with our itinerary by using calendar. Maybe you've got like 2 different classes, you want to put everything on calendar. And like I said, I already mentioned a massive reader that promotes inclusiveness. So this is just like the basic features of Microsoft Teams that we can work with. And when you're creating your team, you can as well decide if you want it to be for classes, meaning It will have provision for assignments if you just want to use it for professional learning, or you just want to use it for staff communication, or even clubs in the school. Maybe the various departments want to have their own teams. And when the school is getting a particular license, you're getting like 1 million licenses for students and 500,000 licenses for faculty, and you get all this for free. So I'll stop here so that I won't take much of our time, but my mail and my social media handle will be sent on the chat box. If you have any questions, I'm happy to respond. So thank you for having me. Thank you, AdasiScience.
Thank you,
so
Mr.
much,
Adeeko.
Mr. Adeeko. Yeah, before we go on for the question and answer, we'll